Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is the first day of the epic Garda Easter Meet Regatta, the 43rd edition. We have the sun just coming in here over beautiful Lake Garda, and we have over 800 sailors on the water. My name is Robin, and trust me, for this event you're in good hands because with me today I have the sailing expert Nova Forsén. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
So right now in the broadcast, I believe we're seeing the starting line of the blue fleet. The yellow fleet has just left, right?
Yes. So the blue fleet is in starting procedure. It's less than 3 minutes until the blue fleet will start. The conditions for today is going to be very shifty, very gusty. We have winds from 10 to 60 knots, I would say, right now. We will see if the wind picks up or if it hopefully the wind will be strong enough for all three races.
And watching the starting line, this is a little special here at the Garda Easter Meet. You actually have a committee boat at the middle of the starting line.
Yes, it's almost like a double starting line. So as Robin said, we have a committee boat at the middle of the line, and then as you can see from the live stream here, we are at the right side of the line. So as you can see, the sailors are lining up for the start.
Startar från ett säkert ställe. För då har ni om ni har två, men om det bara blir trångt.
It's quite astounding to see all the sailors lining up here. I mean, we have a view of the windward mark, and then at the middle of the screen here you see the committee boat, and at the very far end you have the eastern pin, western pin.
As you can see, the start for the blue race has just gone through. The plan for today is it's maximum 3 races per day here, so I think the organization will try to push for 3 races.
I mean, now it looks like very sunny, very nice, but just a little further south on the lake we have a report from Malchese that the winds are really, really strong. That's where the Ilkas are racing, and I think the conditions will be very, very shifty over Lake Garda today. So here we see the German sailor. That's one of your favorite starts, right, Nova? Trying to cut right straight out the start.
Yes. As you can see, we talked about this on the Country Cup yesterday. Usually when a lot of boats start on the right side of the line, it's easier to tack out. So if you have a bad start, you can fix it up pretty easily. But as you can see, the sailors are very spread out. So also, as we talked about yesterday, when the line is so long, as it is on this regatta, it's super important to know where is favored. So the start is a major thing to try to.
But winning the start will sure make a difference. But here you have is it still the strategy? First to the mountain will have a clear advantage, or what would you say?
No, I think especially when we have the wind from Riva del Garda, it's totally different to the conditions from when we have whirl wind. So as Robin said earlier, the wind will be very shifty today, and you can also see from the spot that we're sitting on that it's very gusty. So it's important for the sailors to look out especially on the upwinds, to see where the pressure is. So for this Garda meeting, we will have hopefully 10 races in total. 7 races in the qualifications are planned, and then we will have 3 races in the final on Sunday.
I mean, looking at the season, it's been tough for some sailors, especially during the Spanish tour. There were no final series in Valencia nor in Palamos. So I think these sailors are really, really looking forward to battle it out on the final races. I remember from last year, the conditions were quite tough. It was no wind, it was raining, but the race committee really wanted the final series, because that's what we do here in Garda. So we started, I think, 5 o'clock in the morning. All the sailors gathered gathered. It was still pitch black, and it was also the day when you had the time shift, the summertime. So it was actually 1 hour earlier than expected. So quite an early start, but they managed to get the 2 final races and ending a fantastic regatta. So we have something truly to look forward to there. If we for a second just take a glance on the yellow fleet that are now approaching the first mark, you can see that
as you can see on the tracking here, it looks like the majority of the yellow fleet is more positioned to the right side of the course. You can also see the ley lines, the white lines on the tracking. I usually say that it's to go on the ley line too early is not so good. So when you see that a fleet is positioned more to one side than the other, it's very easy for sailors to start to line up on the ley line very early. And the problem with lining up too early on the ley lines is that if it comes a ship, you are not able to take the ships so easily. We will see.
I see one in the yellow fleet, one sailor that had the pleasure to following in at the Worlds in Argentina this year when I Luva. You actually were the team leader for Team Sweden, and we see Oscar Nettelid here coming in up to the first mark and currently in 4th position.
Very good.
He was also one of the sailors battling out at the Country Cup yesterday, so he has 1 day's advantage of racing here. We'll see whether that will play to his favor.
Oscar we're at the Worlds in Argentina, as Robin said, born 2010, so his last Garda meeting for his of the career. Last year Oscar was 143 at the Garda meeting, so we'll see if he will be able to have a better result this year.
Well, we keep our fingers crossed for Oscar. And we will leave Metasail for a second, and we see that the red fleet is lining up for start. So here in the screen we have the typical Garda setting with the committee boat in the middle that you can see here on the right hand side of the screen.
on the red start here that a lot of sailors are eager to start at the right side of the line. As you saw at the strapping for the yellow fleet, it actually looked like the right side was maybe a little bit more favored on the first upwind. But we will see how the red start plays out here. As we also talked about on the Country Cup yesterday, about when the boats are lining up on the right side of the starting boat, indication that a lot of people want to start as close to the boat as possible. And when we had stronger winds, the boats are drifting way faster. So hopefully all the boats that we see on the right side of the orange flag here will make it to the line in time.
So Lova, how many times did you sail the East meet yourself?
I think I sailed the Eastern meeting 3 times.
3 times?
Yes, so
Which was your favorite?
actually my last Garda meeting in 2018 we had similar conditions to this. It was raining, but it was much lighter than it is today. I never managed to get a plate. I was not a good starter, so that was my biggest issue. But as you can see on the starting line here, we call that, in Sweden we call that banana. You can see the fleet is forming like a banana, especially in the middle here. People are way under the line.
We'll see. No one really took advantage of that, sailing along the line. It's officially on. I mean, these 800 sailors have come here today to participate in the biggest regatta on the planet, 2025. Lake Garda Easter meeting actually has an official Guinness World Record for being the largest regatta in the world when it comes to number of boats. But it also has a tradition of fostering some absolutely fantastic sailors. For example, Gradoni won it twice before winning, or as part of his career winning the World Championship 3 times in itself. We had Henrik Wigfors winning it 2 years ago, I think. Was it 2 years ago? 2023. He continued to actually winning the Worlds afterwards. Very nice.
Last year, I think the winner was Matthias Kraus from...
That's correct. France. Yes. Matthias Kraus. And I think all sailors really are aspiring to, once in their career, come home with the plate, the epic Garda plate.
A really nice prize. And I think the organization in Garda is very good. I think it, like when you have so many fleets and so many sailors, it's really important to have some tempo on the water. So you can see we have three fleets racing right now. The next fleet on the starting line will be the green one. So almost all the fleets are out on the course.
And now, I mean, the conditions are getting better and better. The sun is coming out here. These sailors had a really wet start. It was total downpour when people were rigging their boats this morning. Seeing from the drone images here, it's hard to imagine. But then it was really tough, and then we had some heavy wind also sailing out. But now it looks like plain sailing out there, wouldn't you say?
Yes. You can see the pressure is really good. We will see if the wind will maybe increase a little bit when the sun comes out. But we have really nice weather conditions right now.
And here close to us, Sweden, we have sailor for India, one for Sweden, and one for Malta. I mean, that just gives you the totally international flair of a regatta like this. Oh, another Malta sailor. It looks like that gone off Malta have had a really good start here. Both cutting out to the right.
Looks like it's a little bit of a right-hand shift right now. So we will see if it's shifting back soon enough, or if the right side will be a little bit more favored, like we saw on the fleets, the yellow one with blue fleets. As you can see on the tracking, the yellow fleet is now on the reach, soon rounding the reaching mark for the downwind. And the course we have for today, it's a start, and then it's an upwind, a reach that the yellow fleet is on right now, and then we have a long downwind to the gate. And then it's a second upwind into the finishing line.
And we have two Italians in the lead. We have Andrea and Leonardo in the lead in the yellow fleet.
We talked a little bit about Andrea de Murtas yesterday on the Country Cup. He was the winner of the Country Cup yesterday.
And I don't think he's the first one in the family winning here in Garda, would you say?
No. He last year on the Garda meeting, Andrea de Murtas was finishing 31, so just outside of the plate. So hopefully he will get maybe a revenge for that this year. He was also at the 2024 Worlds in Argentina, ended at 67th place. But a great sailor.
Really great sailor and a great sailing family, indeed. I mean, look at this view. We're seeing the mountains. You have Torbole there in the background. You have 800 sailors in the water. I mean, what else to ask for? Here we have a really nice view of the Red Fleet. Gud, ja eller? Nej men det har...
Vi har inget här.
Vi har ingen gate-filmning på.
Peter,
Men så, kolla här.
Peter, varför syns inte?
Jag vet inte, vem är det
Jag
som
är inte... Ja, där har vi gate-filmning. Vi har kört på två. Så där.
Jo, det syns.
And now we're focusing in on the gate, the rounding for the yellow fleet. And
You can see that a lot of the sailors choose to round the gate out to the right-hand side. So we will see if it will be any different from the first upwind, or if the right side will be more favored again. I think the important thing on the second upwind is because the second and first upwind is positioned on different areas. So I think it's maybe even more important to have the look up and see where the pressure comes on the second upwind. Because we're closer to the mountains now on the second upwind, to the left side.
typ 10 minuter efter så att det är...
Vill att jag följer topp och gul eller?
Vad sa du?
Ja, följ lite toppgul.
Jag gör det.
Toppen. Och bild på 2 år
Nu
kan.
borde det se ganska bra att få numren va? Jag kan följa det.
So now we're following the top sailors of the Yellow Fleet. They have rounded the gate. Vad kan du komma, eller Tilda, kan du komma närmare den? För att det är fortfarande för långt från att få se segelnummer. Så det vore lite intressant att kunna bara...
Jag tänker bara komma upp och ha det.
Har vi någon cell man kan slå in segelnummer eller? Men det är en miss.
Ja, hon sa det.
Den ligger...
Ja, men... Ja, precis. Det är jättefint.
Jag sätter på den här. As you can see, we're following the Yellow Fleet. This is the front of the fleet on the second upwind. As we said earlier, you can see that especially the top here is pretty spread out, I would say. But you can see that they've positioned themselves more to the right side, as we talked about.
Have a drink.
Also, a very unique thing about the Garda meeting is that there's so many boats in every fleet, so the sailing is always very tight. So, as we mentioned, that it was really spread out, especially in the top. That's probably an indication that it's maybe very chippy on the uplands, and it's not so easy as it looks. So what you see right now is the tracking. The tracking is a little bit off there. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Roughly 10 minutes after, we had the pleasure of seeing the rounding live, as you remember. But this gives you a fair indication of the sailors. I know it's really hard for everyone back home to follow the sail numbers, and hopefully this will give you some support. It's really great that we have this method tracker. You see it every now and then at regattas. For example, in Valencia, you had a chance to follow the race with trackers, but then they had only done it for the final day of the finals, which means that they had 100 trackers. But they never came to a final series. So at the end, they spread out all the trackers for the qualifying races. So every fifth or sixth boat had a tracker. So it was quite fun watching it as parents. You couldn't really tell your sailor's position, but you get a good feel. So there was a lot of guessing going on among the parents during that regatta. But still, it's fun. It's fun to see it. It's amazing what the technology can do for a sport like sailing. We'll go back to the drone images here. Once again, a fantastic view over Lake Garda. It feels like we're in the Lord of the Rings, I would say. I wouldn't say that all these boats are so small that it would be hobbits, but apart from that, I think it's kind of nice.
Jag har ett problem med lite dagligen. Jag skulle vilja stänga av och så nyckla i 30 sekunder och sen slår vi på igen. Vill ni ta en paus då liksom och säga, eller ska vi bara rågöra det?
Nej, vi säger...
Take a minute break.
Yeah.
Eller hur långt ni vill ha.
Yeah. Ja, men det är jätte... Se till när du är...
Ja.
And with this splendid view over Lake Garda, we will move over to 1 to 2 minute break, and we'll be back shortly. So exit full screen har vi där. Men om vi tar view...
Nu är bilderna live igen och du kan gå på när du vill.
Full screen.
Och jag hoppas att det funkar. Nej, vi har 25% drop frames. Ja. I have no clue what this is.
Eller är det hela sändningen?
Nej, alltså det där är ju det är uppkopplingen.
Det hackar. Men gå ändå, det är ganska okej. Det är bara inte bra.
Vad har vi för sändning här? Vad har vi i... vad har vi sändningen här, rundningen på? Det är och sen det är blå. And now we're watching the running for the Blue Fleet. We have Blue Fleet here. Coming up to the first mark. Can you come slightly closer? Because then we can see the same numbers.
För frågan är att om vi ligger vid gaten, alltså ska vi så ligga vid gaten så för att föräldrarna ska se sitt barn, eller ska vi så följa toppen? För att vi kan inte följa så långt upp, om jag följde så den orkar inte.
This is much better. It's really good when you do like this. Because it makes a world of difference if you can see the same numbers. This is really nice. Yeah, some kudos to the drone pilots for being able to be this close to the fleet, I would say. We actually have the Blue Fleet rounding the first mark at present. And you see the beautiful Mountain Torbole in the background here. You see it's quite dark clouds over Riva del Garda, but out here where the sailors are, it's still bright, sunny and fantastically nice.
Allt vi säger kommer ut på YouTube.
Vi pratar nu.
Ja. Allt vi sa om strömmen så att jag har hört allting. Det du sa till Tinder, det hörs. Ser mjukt ut.
Frågan är så om det är tvärtom. So we're seeing the ramming of the blue fleet here.
Är det? Så.
So Lova, here we are approaching the Turbulent Mountains, and we have we're approaching the drone pilot is taking us to the starting line here.
Yes, the yellow fleet has just finished the first race of today. As you saw a couple of minutes ago, the blue fleet is on the last upwind, and we have a red fleet that is soon rounding the fleet. We will see if we have any drone footage on that soon enough. It feels like the wind has dropped a little bit. As I mentioned before, it's very gusty, so when the pressure comes down, it's of course a little more wind, but the wind has dropped, I would say. So we are approaching the gate rounding here for the red fleet. As you see, the top groups has already rounded the marks. We can see that, I would say we can see a pattern from the yellow and blue fleet that a lot of the sailors want to go out to the right, we have talked about.
But we also have a new pattern. If you remember from the yellow fleet, there was Italy in top. But here I think we have a new pattern, which is Sweden in top. I believe we have Ernst Åkesson running as first and Adam Laurin as second.
Yes, exactly. The leader of the red fleet, Ernst, last year's Garda meeting was very successful. He was 14 on the Garda meeting in 2024.
So he has a plate. He has a plate, but there's one bigger size of plates I know. So I guess that is what Ernst and Adam will be aiming for this year.
And was also at the Europeans this year. Finished in a really good place. He was 7th overall in the boys' meet. So the last year was a good year for.
And yes, but in last regatta, where these two Adam and Ernst battled it out, was actually in Valencia, where Adam was slightly ahead. There's a lot of boats and there's a lot of beautiful mountains. And for today, we'll also have a lot of clouds. But there's some sun on the sailors at least, even though the wind is clearly picking up now from the south. I know that in Malcese, and then further south, it's been strong winds all morning. We still have this northerly wind, but we know further down south, it's even stronger.
race of the day. Red Fleet on the second upwind. Soon we have Green Fleet rounding the gate. As you can see on the drone footage, we are not following the fleets on the first upwind, so we can't comment so much about that. But I would say that you can see that the fleet is positioned very much to the right side. Also looks like it's good pressure on the right side. I'm looking at the tracking for the Green Fleet right now. That is, I think, submarine green. We can see that from the tracking, it looks like the Bulgarian guy is in the lead of the first race for the Green Fleet.
Yes.
It's Bulgarian, and then it's Malta, and in the third position right now it's Italy. You can also see that we have a Swedish sailor in the fifth position, the Garda. It's also a part of the Swedish World
Team?
this year, or last year.
Yeah, we both had the chance to watch Didrik sail in the waters of Mar del Plata in Argentina this December.
And also in the 10th position we have Daniel Rogers from GBR, guy born in 2011, sailor Europeans this or last year, finished 76, and then was also at the Europeans in Greece. As you can see on the drone footage, it looks like the Red Fleet is finishing soon. First race of the day. So I think we can expect the second race for the Yellow Fleet is I think they've started already. they will probably start the second race of the day soon. As you can see when we're filming an overview of the first upwind, you can really see that it's very gusty out there. So, the last fleet, the white fleet, is on the reach now, soon starting their downwind. If we look at the tracker, that we said is a little bit like 10 minutes out from our live footage, you can see that at the first upwind mark, we had Jesper Karlsson Italy in the first position. Jesper Karlsson, a great sailor, was at the Europeans both 2024 and 2023. He ended in the third position in the last Europeans, and the year before that he was fourth. So, and in the Garda meeting 2024, Jesper Karlsson was fifth overall. So I would say that Jesper's record here in Garda is really good, and I think he's also one of the favorites for this event. So we'll see if he will manage to maybe step on the podium this year. I think the chances are really high that Jesper will succeed this year as well. Jesper was also the winner of the Regatta of Champions this year in Cyprus. So we have seen him a lot in the top of the results this last season. And I also think we can expect to see more of him throughout this season. In the white fleet we also have, after Jesper Karlsson, we have one more Italian guy, Alexander I think his name is, and then we have a Bulgarian guy in third position. I think it's really fun to see the Bulgarian team in the top. I think
It's nice to see David sailing so well. It's not quite often that we have sailors from Bulgaria here in top 3 in Garda. So most welcome, David.
My last championship was in Bulgaria.
Oh.
Europeans.
Oh wow!
Really nice
Tell us all
place.
about it.
Yeah, I don't remember where we were. It was so nice. Such a good championship. I saw dolphins when I.
We like dolphins.
It was a nice place.
That sounds very similar to Mar del Plata, Argentina, where we had sea lions and well, it was more like sailing through a zoo. I think Adele framed it. Yeah, that's So, over here we have a fantastic view of the White Fleet rounding the gate.
As you can see, the Jesper Karlsson, the Italian guy, rounded first out to the left side of the course. And you can also see in the White Fleet here that it's pretty spread out here as well. You can see Jesper has already rounded the mark and the gap is pretty big down to the second group here.
For people following Metasail on a separate screen, there's roughly a 10-minute delay.
A very important thing to think about as a sailor, especially if you're in the top group of the fleet when you're running the gate, is that you have the rest of the fleet still doing downwind. So it's not actually very smart to go through the whole downwind fleet, because then you're going to get dirty wind and your boat is going to sail slower. So that's something that is very important, that the sailors are planning their sailing and not crossing the whole fleet.
We have a really tight rounding.
And this you will see a lot of tight gate roundings, especially in the finals, I think.
You can see there, Metasail using 4 boats.
So especially when it's so many boats in each fleet, and usually the fleet is pretty packed, it's very important for the sailors to plan their gate rounding, because as Robin said, you can lose many positions if you do a bad gate rounding.
This is really nice ground footage. To get here from the
Second upwind. We have seen in the previous fleets that a lot of boats has been rounding the mark out to the right-hand side. So we'll see how this plays out for the right fleet. I would say the gap between the first boat in a fleet rounding the gate until the last boat rounding the gate is maybe 7-8 minutes. So we will have to wait a bit here before the full white fleet is rounding the gate. But as you can see on the footage here, still in great conditions.
Actually, from a live view, not the camera view, I would say it's a lot more sunny and a lot stronger wind than you get a feel for on the camera.
Feels like the wind has increased a bit, as Robin said. We will see if we soon can get some footage on the starting line. I think the yellow fleet is ready for the second race of today.
We have one drone leaving and another now on flying into the fleet here in the south. And for you who missed the live stream from the White Fleet surrounding, this is what we would look in here on the Road to Gold live stream. We see Jesper rounding first with quite some distance to the second boat. I think leading here as in case of 46. That's a very nice pool position as Jesper is sailing up for the finishing line.
Yes, our drone is now on the way to the starting line, so we will see if the yellow fleet will start the second race soon. As you can see, the break between the races is usually a little bit longer. The organization needs to wait for all the sailors in the fleet to finish the race before, and then the kids also need some time to talk with the coaches and get some food before they start. As you can see, I think the yellow fleet, the yellow sailors are ready to start soon. We'll see if the organization is ready soon enough for a second race of the day. As we said earlier, in the qualification series, it's 3 days long, and the plan for the qualifications is to sail 7 races. So maximum races for every day is 3 races. So we will see if the organization is pushing for 2 or 3 today. But I would say that they're pushing for a 3rd race today. As you can see, it's no starting procedure on yet. So we will have to wait a little bit longer for the yellow fleet to start the second race. But soon we have all the fleets, and all the fleets have soon been finishing the first race of the day. So the white fleet is soon finished as well with the first. You can see that the boat here, the red boat with the orange flag here to the right side of the line, is moving a little bit more up. So, I'm sorry, I saw. My fault, I'm sorry. don't have any live drone footage from the white fleet sitting up in right now, but if we look at the tracking, that is, as we said, 10 minutes behind. You can see that in the middle of the second upwind, you can see that Jesper Karlsson is still in the lead. Topstream looks the same as on the downwind, Italy, Bulgaria. And then we have a Norwegian guy in fourth position, as it looks like right now. And as I said earlier, when the white fleet was traveling the gate, you can see that the white fleet has positioned themselves more to the left side this time. So I think you can expect that the wind is maybe a little bit more left right now. But as we said, the wind will shift a lot today. So we'll go from right to left, right to left. But right now, it looks like the wind is shifting a little bit more to the left side. The nice thing to be in the now you can see on the live footage here from the drone, you can see that the yellow fleet starting procedure is on for the second race of the day. We have really nice drone footage right now. You can see it's the pressure is very good. It's a lot of wind out there right now, which is awesome. It will be interesting to see how the fleet lines up on the starting line. As we said, the drone is only catching the right side of the line, but on the left side of the committee it's also looks like for the white fleet that Jesper Karlsson was winning the race with a huge gap to the rest of the fleet. So very good sail. It's hanging up.
Fantastic. We have a great view here of actually three Swedish sailors in the front, Lova.
Yeah. The second race of the yellow fleet is now on again. As Robin said, a lot of Swedes on the right side here.
Four. I mean, I think we have four Swedes in the top here. Or at least in the top position for our drone footage. So that's very inspiring. Here it's the yellow fleet, the second race of the day.
Yes, so the second race is finally on. And as I said,
I really appreciate when the drone pilots can fly this close. It's a splendid view.
so as you see here, it's a Lithuanian sailor sailing on the port side out to the right side of the upwind.
It's really nice to see the sailors bailing. It's one of those super optimist skills.
As it looks like right now, the majority of the yellow fleet is sailing for port side. Out more. So the white fleet has also finished the first race of the day, so all of the fleets behind yellow is now ready to go for a second race. It's a little bit hard to tell how the riding, we don't have an overview of the first upwind right now. But it still looks like fantastic sailing conditions out there still, so that's very nice.
Yes, now we're zooming into the meta tracker for a change. We're following the yellow fleet. It's their second race on south, and we have Andrea de Martas in the second place, who I think won the first race. Wasn't that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It was in the top of the fleet in yellow's first race.
And also we have Leonardo, who I think was also top 3 in the first race. I think he finished second.
We have a Finnish sailor, Sisu, in the 8th position. It goes up and down a bit in the tracking here on the upwind. But if we look at the fleet on the meta sail, you can see that especially the sailors that started on the right side of the line, you can see they're so far out to the right. And if you look at the leading group with Leonardo and Andrea, you can see that they came a little bit more from the left side or the middle. So that seems to be the best thing to do on this upwind. We talked a little bit about the white second upwind, that it was a little bit of a left shift. So it seems like the wind is maybe still a little bit more left shifted. We will see if the wind will start to turn more to the right soon, or if it will stay like this. But the yellow fleet has already rounded the upwind mark. So we will soon switch to the drone footage for the red fleet.
Yes, let's do that, Lova. So here we have a nice view of the red fleet second race. As you see, you have the committee boat in the center of the picture. This is actually the committee boat that is positioned in the center of the starting line. So you will have one group being port and one starboard of the committee boat. So that's one of the special things with the Lake Garda Easter meet. Naturally, because we have so big fleets.
Yes. As you can see, the starting procedure for the red fleets is ongoing. So the red fleet will soon take off for the second race of the day.
It's really nice that we can have the drone footage this close. Very inspiring to see.
So you can almost say that the committee boat in the middle divides the line into like 2 separate lines. So that's what I'm talking about when I say right side of the committee and left side of the committee. And as you can see here, it looks like we didn't catch the blue start. But as you can see here, it looks like actually that the red fleet is positioning themselves more to the left side of the committee. If you compare it to the yellow fleet, where it was a lot of boats on the right side of the committee. And that can be due to the left shift that we talked a little bit about. Looks like the sailors have catched that very good. So it will be interesting to see how the red fleet's upwind will look like this time. But we have say that they're on the downwind now, down to the gate, and we will soon have the blue fleet round the first upwind mark. You can see that it's less than through the start for the red fleet. We talked a little about this term of the banana in the start, especially when it's a little bit more wind in the start. It's the hardest part to start at on the starting line. It's in the middle of the line, it's not super easy to see how the line goes when you're in the middle, and that's often why the middle boat is a little bit more further down from the starting than at the committee or at the orange flag on the left side. It looks like we have a lot of boats at the pennant right now. So we will see if we will have any boats that is over the line. It looks a little bit chaotic on the at the pennant right now, but still looks like the boats are under the line. So that's great. But usually the hardest part when it's very tight on the line, it's the last 30 seconds where the boats are risking to go over the line. But you can see here a big left shift. All the boats at the pennant try to tack straight away after the start. So for the red fleet, it was a huge pennant favorite. So as you can see here, really good from the sailors that had a good start from the pennant and was able to attack right away. We will now fly the drone down to the gate, and hopefully we will catch the yellow around in the gate for the second upwind. As we can see, 1 minute until the fleet comes down. We can see here amazing drone footage. German guy is in the lead. Big gap down to the rest of the fleet. We have Germany 2090. I think this guy must have come more from the left side than the last time we saw Andrea de Murtas and Leonardo in the top. So I think that this little left shift that came was in the Germans' favor. Here we see Italia. Italy. That was here is Andrea de Murtas in the top. He was also in the top in the first race of the day for the Yellow Fleet. So great sailing from his side. We have Italian guy here, 251. That is Leonardo Schialpi. Also think he had a good race in the first. Here we have Portugal. We have one more German guy. But as you can see, I think the fleet is still very spread out. Usually in Garda, we see a little bit more of a tight sailing. But as we said earlier, I think this is a lot of this happens when it's tricky conditions, when it's very shifty, then it's also very hard. It's hard to take all the shifts during the upwind, and the result of that is that the fleet will be a little bit more spread out. We can see here Andrea de Murtas rounding the gate out to the left side. We have Leonardo rounding the other gate out to the right side. But I think the gate rounding to the left side will be more popular from the sailor side right now. You can see it's a lot of boats rounding out to the left. We have the German guy has rounded the mark a long time ago. He has a big lead. We have a Swedish sailor rounding also out to the right side, Ruben Roth. So I would say this is maybe top 20. And then we have a big gap down to the third group, I would say. We have German in the first group by himself in the front, and then we have the second group that contains maybe 20 sailors, and now the third group comes here with the rest of the fleet. It will be interesting to see if the wind has shifted a little bit or if the left side is still good as on the first upwind.
I must say this is a fantastic view. I mean, we have the perfect position in the gate. We're really close with the drone in the south and having a turbulent mountain in the background. So it's really a pleasure for us seeing this. And also having really sailors from all around the world coming in here. China, Italy, Greece, Great Britain, USA, more USA, Sweden.
I would say that that is one of the funniest part about this competition. That it's so many different nationalities that is here. Here we have Oscar from Sweden. He was at the top of the fleet in the first race. Is further down in the second race. We will see if he can manage to gain some positions on the second upwind. You can see all these sailors that is coming now, a Swede and then the Turkish girl here. They all started on the right side of the line and went far, far out to the right. So that's an indication that it was a better decision to go more to the left side on the first upwind for the yellow fleet. So you can see the Swiss guy here, he was touching the mark, so he did a turn. But we talked about that on the first upwind of the yellow fleet. It was a lot of sailors out on the right side very early, was positioning themselves on the ley line way too early.
They noticing three Danish sailors rounding pretty much at the same time. Maybe they had joint tactics. We see a little here for in Germany where they will be making a 360 after that one. No, not with it. Probably outside the frame.
We have Lisa, Swedish girl.
That was a really tight cut through by Swedish 4933, gaining two boats there.
But that's very important to remember. If the sailors are touching any of the marks around the course, they need to take a 360 penalty. Here we actually have the first boat in the red fleet, I think. Or, yes. No. I'm sorry. I thought
Still yellow.
someone
Still
else.
yellow.
Yes. We're not on the red yet.
Going from yellow to red. I mean, that means be a really fast sailor. I know Ernst is keen on it, but I think sailing through one fleet would be too much to ask for.
I apologize. It's still the yellow fleet.
Can we just see Matilda around here? Choosing left gate.
Now I think we can see some of the last sailors in the yellow fleet. And soon the blue fleet will come down for a gate rounding.
So now we're zooming in with the drone towards the gate rounding for the blue fleet. Um, with 800 sailors on the water, I understand it's not all that easy to follow specific of a sailor, but here I think if we can land it or place the drone here, um, so we're watching the blue fleet here rounding the gate. The wind is clearly picking up.
We can also feel that the gusts are very strong. Um, we didn't really see that do the rounding of the gate, but if we look a little bit on the meta sail, this is right before the gate rounding. We could see that we had a Swede in the top, Isak Kaplan. I think this is the first time for today we see Isak in the top. Also, a great sailor was 21 in the Europeans last year, and had a very good result in the Garda meeting 2024 with and positioned himself in 16th place.
It was actually one of the sailors that qualified for the Swedish World Championships team when he was 12, but then he wasn't allowed to go because there's an age limit for that that team. So I think Isak is back on full of fire, aiming for the World Championships this year. So we're really happy in top here in the blue fleet.
We can also see that we had a Danish guy in the top, in third position, that is sailing very good in the top. And then we always have some new names every race that is also in the top. So that's very nice.
It was closer when you were in.
Pratar inte. Okay, sweet.
So we see the first rounding here on the red fleet on the gate. I think we have Italy in top, Sweden second. The third. Sweden third.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mexico. Rounding the gate in the top. I think we see Sweden here. Adam, he was also in the top of the fleet in the last race. As the yellow fleet, a lot of the sailors choose to go out to the left side. If you also look up on the upwind, it looks like it's a little bit of it's a bit of left shift.
So where we're sitting out doing this broadcast, we can feel that there are some sudden, really strong gusts coming in, and I think the sailors will feel the same. Very nice move here by the Swede on the rounding. Instead of going up on battling it out just before, yes, just
We can also see that the blue fleet has now finished second race of the day. It looked like the Swede Isa Kaplan was at the very top of the fleet.
a big congrats, Isaac. It's a pleasure seeing you at the top there. Well, very well deserved. And Isaac has also been flying through the fleet on the training days, building up to this regatta.
You can also see that it's coming a lot of pressure now for the red fleet here on the.
So Loa, what would you do if you were the German boat now stuck around the next to the gate?
If you if you're stuck on the mark, it's better to just take up the dagger board to drift fast, and then you can start sailing again.
That's a very good piece of advice. No,
Ketchup, mayonnaise? See? Yes.
We can see that it's coming some darker clouds over the racing area.
It's quite a dramatic view we have here.
Lots going on. So I think we're coming to the end of the red fleet now. And the next fleet to arrive to the gate is the green fleet that is on the first part of their downwind.
The battery's gone. Sorry. I feel like it.
Jag tror att den klungan var på vänstersidan.
Timra. So here we have the green fleet coming down for the gate rounding. You have in the top GBR. Um, we have USA. We have Denmark. We will see if we have any. Johan Höjland was in the third position from Denmark. We have a little bit of a problem with the meta sailing right now, so it's harder to get some names for the sailors. But I think the leading boat, the British guy, was Johnny Rogers that we talked about in the first race a little bit. We have Sweden, Germany, another Swedish guy rounding, who was in the red fleet, I think I saw. We have a Malta, Denmark, Turkey, Malta. But as we can see, it's still more favored to round the gate out to the left. We have a couple of boats that are rounding the mark out to the right side. And as you can see here, we have some pressure coming down. Yeah. You can see it's a little bit of a chaotic rounding now on the left mark. We talked about that earlier today, the downwind mark rounding. Very important. You can see some sailors gain a lot in the gate rounding, and then we have some sailors that are accepting other boats going in between them and the mark. So the most ideal is to, of course, round the mark as tight as possible without touching it. Because if you touch the mark, you need to do a 360 penalty. Let's continue. You can see that we have very nice pressure on the right side, I think it looks like right now. You see that it's a little bit darker on the right side. Feels like it's more pressure there right now. But it's also hard to tell from our position here from the gate. Here we have a German guy that is his boom stuck in the mark. That means that he needs to do a penalty. We'll see if he does a 360. Doesn't really look like that.
Even if it doesn't look old.
But do you agree, Robin? I think it looks like it comes big pressure on the right side right now. You see it's a little bit.
I would agree. I would agree. Still, I just got a report from Malcese where they're running the Ilka Easter meet that Ilka 4 are going back in because it's too windy. Ilka 6 will continue to race. I feel a little sorry for the younger, especially girls sailing Ilka 6 now. In a wind that is too hard for Ilka 4, but I guess that's the name of the game. over here at the Optic course is still. What do you say? What wind would you say, Lova?
I think we have maybe from 16 to 18 knots right now. So
Something like that. Yeah, yeah. Very nice conditions.
You can also see that it's wind all over the course right now. So that's very nice. Um,
Yeah.
so in a little while, we'll eat rounding the gates. And the last fleet to round the gate for the second race. We can also see that the sailors are not on their way in. So that means the organizations. And now we actually got the
Well,
information that it's only going to be 2 races today.
2.
Yeah. So we will see if we have more updates on that. But
Well, Robin.
we can't see any fleet going in. But maybe they decided now to. Oh, we see now that the starting boats are on their way in. That means that it will only be 2 races for today. So all the fleets that has finished the second race will now go in to shore again.
Ja, det hela grejen kan vara en part. Men jag menar, vi får gäster en några dagar då.
I think a lot of the coaches, sailors, and also
the media team here
and the
in
media
broadcast.
was hoping for a third race today, but as you see, looks like the wind is picking up.
I think from this picture, it's quite clear to say, it's fair to say that the weather is not picking up. It's quite a dramatic scene we see here over Montorboli. You can't really see the fortress up in Arco because it's too cloudy. And I know from the Ilka racing going on in Malcese, they just cancel the races before start for Ilka 4, so they're going back ashore, and one can see here clearly on the water that the wind is picking up. We'll see whether that will influence our white fleet that I think we're waiting for to approach the gate now. Yeah, that's hopefully the last of the green fleet there, rounding the gate.
Det blåser.
But So we now have the white fleet approaching the gate, but with that we will switch to it's a very familiar picture. Jesper in the lead. I think the first race for the white fleet. The getting very, very cloudy and dark here. Getting very, very cloudy and dark here. How would you describe today's racing?
I think we had a very nice day of racing today. We got 2 races, finished the second race is the whites.
But they're still racing. They're still out
Yes.
there, even though it's getting really dramatic out there.
Great conditions today. It was a little bit shifty, but I think the sailors managed the conditions very well.
Indeed, and we've seen Italy in top. We have seen Sweden in top in a couple of races actually. Very encouraging in so many ways. But I think also this is a great start to the epic Garda Easter meeting. I mean, this is the 43rd edition, and I think we have some spectacular racing to look forward to, especially now when the weather and wind has been quite unpredictable. I think the organizers made a fantastic job doing the 2 races now before sort of the really heavy wind will hit the race course. So with that said, I think we're making a wrap here from the 43rd edition of Lake Garda Easter meeting. And so thank you so much today, Lova. It's been fantastic seeing and hearing you even more so commenting on the racing today. And a big congrats to all the sailors that has completed the first day of racing. We have 3 more days of racing ahead of us. So stay tuned and we will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
And bye.
Jättefint.